Now, on May the 25th, 3 MBS is joining with the Justin Art House Museum in Paran to present a programme of music surrounded by art. And I'm delighted to say that I have Charles and Leah Justin, the founders and I would have to say probably the owners of the collection still, to come here and talk to us. Now, is this the first time you've put together music and art?
It's actually not the first time. We've been lucky enough to have several opportunities. During COVID, it was fascinating that a group of musicians who were trying to find a way to generate work for themselves chose to come to our place as much as many other places. And there was something wonderfully meditative during that time of having one single musician and one person, because each person had commissioned one musician just to perform for them in the gallery space. It was quite fantastic. The ACOs also performed there, a small group. And last year we had this extraordinary fellow called Alexander da Costa who did this Baroque, B-A-R-O-C-K performance. And there was something just energising, he said, about being surrounded by contemporary art in performing these particular works. So we've been very, very privileged.
I was going to say that is an interesting concept because we can all go to a concert hall which has nice blank walls, but being surrounded by art, it does enhance, doesn't it?
I think so. Well, Charles, you might want to talk to that.
Well, it does, because what's interesting, you're getting a melding of the sort of visual stimulation together with oral stimulation. So you're getting two senses being fed at the same time. But this concert that's coming up is going to be particularly special because Kyla came in specially to look at the art, and she's choosing music in response to the art that she saw in the exhibition in which the concert's taking place.
Which will be very exciting to have the two concepts merging on one day.
That's right. And she's also going to explain why she chose that music to match that particular artwork. And so that'll be fascinating as well.
And I think for us it's interesting because, in fact, we're going to be exposed to very different music in the same way that guests who come to JAHM are exposed to art that they've never seen before. We're going to be listening to music we've never heard before. Well,
art, both art and music are explorations. You don't just stand still. It's a continual learning process that, for collectors, never stops.
And it's also, I think, when it's contemporary music and contemporary art, it propels you to go into a sometimes difficult space and sit with it in a slow fashion, which is something I don't think we do very much of today. And being in a concert sort of space, as you would be when you come to the Justin Art House Museum, and being exposed to music where you just have to let it wash over you, I think is a very it's a unique opportunity.
And of course, we should say that you can't just wander in off the street to look at your collection. You have to book, and there are tours. So this is an opportunity to see this collection.
And yes, and not only that, actually, we choreograph our tours, but in fact, at the conclusion of the concert, people are invited into our private apartment where they'll enjoy refreshments. So it's something like a salon experience, I suppose, in that sense.
Yes, there's always a difference between what is a personal collection and, of course, what is a very public display. So that's a fascinating concept, the fact that you can do both on the same day.
Well, the thing is that when you look at private collections and private museums, they are also unique in their individuality, because essentially what you're looking at is a collector's view of the art world, and in some ways it's sort of like a reflection on their persona. And the good thing is you actually get exposed to art that you don't see in the public museums, and also the setting in which the art is housed is also different, because it's sort of has individual architecture, as individual display, and so it's an experience which is not readily available, because house museums like ours, in which the collectors personally engaged with the audience, are very rare.
So what drives your collecting?
Well, you know what collecting is? It starts off as an interest and ends up as an addiction. And
absolutely. I couldn't agree totally. I have to declare an interest as a collector as well. There is always something you want.
Yeah, and so it grows progressively, and before you turn around, you've got more art that you can fit on your walls. And, the definition of a collector is someone who has more art that they can fit on their walls, which is where we're at. And so what we do is we rotate the works in our collection. So every year we change the art, both in the gallery and in our apartment, totally. So when people visit, they see totally new art every 12 months.
And what we're doing is actually curating the collection each year. So we use art as a leverage to explore an idea.
Right.
So each time people would come, they would actually be taking a different sort of journey about some other particular idea.
But isn't it enjoyable looking at different things? Because I do exactly the same. I change things round, and sometimes you sort of feel, oh, I'm a bit tired of that. I'll take it down, and then you put something else up and go, oh, I've forgotten all about that.
Yeah. Well, not only that, what's interesting is that when you place an artwork in a different context, it actually looks different, and people actually see things that they didn't see before, because the setting's different, the background's different, the light's different, and it is a real eye-opener. So we mix sort of recycling works and also introducing new works, so people have a new experience every time they come to us. So much so that sometimes they come into our space and say, oh, you did a renovation. We said, no, we just changed the art. And,
yes. Well, it does work like that. So what will people see on that Saturday?
The exhibition we've got at the moment, because all our exhibitions, as Leah said, are thematically curated, is on architecture. We have art by artists which are sort of architectonic, and what we're exploring through that exhibition is what's the difference between art and architecture. And in some ways, art is similar to music in that it's a creative act which is non-utilitarian, and that's one of the things we're exploring in this exhibition. So they'll see works which are sort of curated to tell a story or a narrative which people can sort of view and try to understand and get some sort of message from it.
And they're digital prints, it's canvases, it's photographs, it's some sculptures, so it's a broad range of media.
I was going to say, yes, it's not just something sitting on a wall,
yes,
or it's not just what people would see as traditional art.
No.
It's a whole feast for the eyes, I think is the phrase, to use a sort of well-hackneyed phrase.
We collect principally abstract art, so it's non-representational, and in some ways contemporary music's the same. It's sort of highly abstract, and that would actually be a very good pairing, I think, between the art and the music. Well,
music and art has gone together almost through the centuries.
Yeah.
It's not a very a 21st century concept. It's been historic, but it depends on how it sort of fits, and of course people get different experiences from how they appear.
Well, we're so looking forward to hearing what Kyla has actually responded to and why she's responded to specific works, because apparently she's chosen, I think, several works to marry with the works that she's going to be playing with her group. So that's exciting for us.
I think it sounds a very exciting event. The only sad thing for myself is, sadly, I'll be 12,500 miles away on the opposite side of the world, looking at art in England.
All right.
We can't be too sorry for you, I don't think.
So anyway, it sounds a wonderful event. I will just say it's on Saturday, May the 25th at 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. There'll be a performance by Kyla Matsuura-Miller, violin, Natasha Conrao, violin, Merwin Bramble, viola, and Campbell Banks, cello. And they're going to perform works by Hildegard von Bingen, Caroline Shaw, Bryce Desner, and Takamitsu, surrounded by your artworks. And tickets are $50, $45 concession, and 3 MBS subscribers. And you've heard this many times tonight. The way to book is to go to the website 3mbs.org.au. Look, Charles and Leah, thank you very much indeed for coming in. It sounds a really exciting event, and I wish you every success with it.
Thank you very much.